Hello, this is Stampylongnose, and welcome to a Halo 4 gameplay commentary. This is a 1v1 game. I'm back to my old tricks, just like Halo Reach, uploading some 1v1 gameplay, and this is here playing against my good friend, Rosie 833, who you may recognise from some past videos. She's often playing with me on Halo, and therefore often on my team in games. But here I'm against her in a 1v1 map, on a map called Prey. And you won't recognise this map because I built it, so unless you've played with me in the last few days, then this will be the first time you've seen this map. And it's a map I built in Forge, in the Erosion Forge map, I think, and I immediately regretted building in this area. I built here because this is like the Griffball Court, and I thought this is like quite a good flat area, and I could use the floor and the ceiling to like save some of my budget on the blocks and stuff, but I ended up pretty much rebuilding the entire floor, and like the ceiling was a bit too low and stuff anyway, so I regretted building here because it all looks a little bit ugly and horrible with this wall colour. But oh well, hopefully the actual map and the design and the gameplay plays well enough, so that's what really counts. And what this map is built for is exactly what I'm doing here: 1v1 games, really fast-paced, action-packed 1v1 games, not tactical, sneaking around, outsmarting like the other player. This is for warm-up games, basically. What I wanted, basically just for me personally, my own selfish reasons, I wanted a octagon-like map in terms of a map you use to not necessarily just play for fun, but to more warm up before going online. I wanted a map like that, but I wanted different like areas in terms of different heights. I wanted verticality and stuff, so that you can't just leave your sniper at head height and just like snipe them really easily. And I also wanted less spawn killing in terms of like literally getting shot the second you spawn. So I decided to do like a rectangle shape rather than like an octagon or a more of like a circle shape, and this is how the map kind of ended up. It was originally going to be a hell of a lot smaller than this. I really wanted it to be octagon size, but with safer spawns and like different heights. But because of Halo 4 and because I wanted safer spawns, I had to make the map bigger, just because of the range of the DMR and like the fact that you can sprint, like you can get across the map really easily and instant respawns. Because of those reasons, the kind of size of the map grew, so it kind of looks a bit more like a normal map, and is specifically designed for really fast-paced 1v1 games like this. You will pretty much always see the second I spawn, I'm immediately like looking out, and I can normally see Rosie, with the exception of the time I try to draw attention to it, in which I don't see her there. And so yeah, this is mainly for Slayer Pro. I think it plays really well on it. There are weapons on the map. There's 2 snipers, there's a sticky detonator, there's also plasma grenades if you want to use some plasma grenades for the fun of it. It might also work well on CTF, just because it is symmetrical and it's kind of got like different lanes and different like flag running routes, although I do still need to sort out some of the like objective placement and like the capture points for CTF mode. And as I say, it's just really good for really fast-paced gameplay. It's very open. You can see the bottom of the map, there's pretty much no cover down there, so there's a lot of long-range shooting from across the map, and a few power positions, although most of the power positions don't have that much cover. So even when you do get into a gunfight and you are in a power position, you kind of got to commit to it, or like literally just properly try and run away. So because of that, hopefully the game is really fast-paced. And I'm not just going to talk about the map only in this video. I kind of want to talk a bit about Forge in general, and just sort of what the Forge mode is like in Halo 4 and the different Forge environments we have and stuff. And hopefully, if I have some time at the end of the video, I'm going to give you some tips in terms of how to build your own maps. And I'm no Forge expert, I've had no level design training or anything like that, but I have been building a lot of maps since Halo 3, and I've made a lot of very bad maps in my time, and hopefully I've learned something from my mistakes and sort of know what to avoid when building a map. And because of that, it sort of reverses, so I know what you should do in terms of making a good map. And I'm going to talk about that hopefully a little bit later on, as long as I don't blabber on too much. So Forge mode in general, Forge mode in Halo 4 is a major disappointment for me personally. There are some good new additions. There's things like the ability to lock items in place, which I didn't actually use at all when making this map, because I'm normally quite careful and don't really accidentally move stuff. But if you're building with a team, if there's a few of you, I can imagine like locking like things in place, just basically say don't move this, would be really effective. The best new addition for me was the ability to like duplicate things, just to easily select an item and just say I want another one of this. Just makes things really easily, especially when you're not 100% on the names of all of the items, and when you're making a symmetrical map like this, it's very easy to go, oh, I need that block, which one was it again? I can just duplicate it. And also like building a bridge, you can do that. The magnets I don't recommend using because they can sometimes conflict with like the coordinates. You can like edit the coordinates really exactly and just nudge items, and sometimes if you use magnets it kind of, you're on like a different scale than if you were using that, so I don't recommend using magnets if you do want to do a really exact or like symmetrical map. But some of like the stuff are good, but the big problem for me is the fact that they're just using the same objects. Like 95% of the objects you can build with, we've already used in Halo Reach, which means that a lot of the maps are going to be very similar. Also, there's no real good forging environment. There's no big open field. There's no massive empty room. You know, this is the biggest block room that we have, which means that we won't be able to make really big Dominion maps. We won't be able to make like amazing big team battle maps, and all of like the natural terrain like on Ravine and this map Erosion is very like overly designed. There's lots of rocks, there's lots of dips and stuff, and if you are going to build an outside map and not a map in the sky, you kind of really have to conform to the natural environment of the map, which will be be okay in some cases. Like if you're new to it and you just want to place a few bases and like place a few of your own weapons in, and apart from that stick with the map how it is, it's fine. In that sense it's easier to build maps. But if you really want to fine-tune the map and have it exactly how you want, there's no real way for you to do that apart from building in the sky, which means all the maps will kind of look the same and they can't be like absolutely massive, which is very annoying. And what I really want added to Forge World is there's a few things. I've got a little wish list for what I want to be added to Forge. I want a customizable building space. I want to be able to say, I want to build in a room which is 20 meters by 20 meters, and then it will just spawn a room like this room here, but I can just choose the size of it. Say I want it to be a rectangle shape or something, or even maybe do it so you could just spawn like a field or an outside area like that. I know it'd be very difficult. I know that like the game engine might not be able to handle it because of the lighting and stuff, but that's just something that I'd really love to be added maybe in the next Halo game if like the new Xbox can handle it. I'd like to be able to select and copy multiple objects. Building a symmetrical map is a pain in the arse. It's so annoying having to go and build a massive area, then go to the other side of the map and build it exactly the same and have the space between it all the same. What would be amazing is if I could build one half of the map, one base, select it all, like link it all together, then do copy and paste and grab all of the items together as like one block. That would be absolutely amazing and make building symmetrical maps, or just maps in general, a whole lot easier. I'd also love to be able to change the colour or even the texture of items. You can see that all the blocks and the buildings and stuff have like different textures depending on which Forge map you're on. I'd love the ability to be able to choose what texture I want, or if I'm like placing a block, choose the colour of it. And they kind of did have that in Reach, although it normally just changed like a few little bits of it and some lines. It'd be good if I could have add a block and just say, oh, I want that to be a blue block, and then I could have a blue base and a red base, and they could look like different. I could add more like artistic designs to make maps look better. I'd also love to be able to resize objects, to like put in a ramp and say I want this ramp to be bigger or smaller. I don't believe that would be too difficult. An undo button would be absolutely amazing. But most importantly, what I'd really want with the game is just new stuff to build with, new building blocks, new I don't know, buildings and ramps and just decorative stuff, just to make the Forge palette just a bit more diverse and different to Halo Reach, because we're just getting the same old maps. I'm just playing Guardian and Sanctuary and Pit and all the like the maps that I've been playing for years, and I love them, but this is Halo 4. I want something new and exciting. So hopefully they do add a Forge environment in the future with a few new items, although in the map packs that they've already announced, I don't think there are any Forge maps in them, so that's a little bit annoying. But anyway, hopefully I've got a little bit of time left now before the end of the video to hopefully give you a few tips, and the biggest one I'm going to give you is to plan everything before you build. I personally do a little sketch and draw out what I want my map to be like. You don't have to do that, but I definitely recommend really deciding what type of gameplay you want. Do you want it to be fast-paced? Do you want it to be an objective game type? I build all my maps around a particular game type. Like this is a 1v1 Slayer map. It can do 2v2s, but it's really built for 1v1s. I wanted it to be fast-paced, so there's not much cover, you can get to one side to the other. Really think about everything before you start building. Think about the lines of sights. Think like, if I'm in this corner, where can I see? If this is like a power position, is it too powerful? Does it need more cover? Does there need to be lots of different routes in order for people to get up there? You also really need to think about spawning. Spawning is a really big thing, and I'm still learning the Halo 4 spawning system, but what you really need is just safe areas to spawn. places at the back of the map where people can spawn in safely without getting shot at. And here I've added the bases with like a little bit of a dip down and lots of cover, so people can spawn in the base and either lift up here or just sort of run out to the front of the map. As I've said earlier, really think about where your cover is, because where there's cover, it like generally becomes like the power position, also the elevation, like the highest points. Everyone generally always goes to try and get to the highest point in the map, because in Halo that's usually really important. Also think about the fact that this is Halo 4, this isn't Halo Reach. Make adjustments to terms of the fact that they always got sprint. Generally you want your map to be a little bit bigger now, because like you can shoot so much further with the DMR and be accurate. Also, being able to sprint around the map means that generally your map needs to be a little bit bigger, and of course, as I say, the better gun range. And also think about making it look good. Like, and I mean, it always should be like function over form, sorry. It should always be gameplay first, but really think about the landscape and make sure that there's like standout features, bits look different, so that if you're doing a call out, you can say, oh, quick, they're by the whatever, you know, and just try and make areas look different. Also, just for orientation, if someone spawns in the map, you want them to almost instantly know where they are, and to be able to navigate the map properly, they need to be able to sort of see really stand out landmarks. So you can do that with lights, like I've done in this map. I've got like the pink area to like the left of your screen now, and like the green area, and obviously the bases, and try and do a little bit of design. One, because people like better looking maps, and two, it will help people sort of learn their way around it. Also, try and make sure the map's always smooth, don't have any jaggedy bits. It seems a bit obvious, but so many maps have just bits sticking out, and it means that like when you throw a grenade, it will bounce funny, and you don't want to have to jump too much. You want to have like ramps everywhere. And once you're finished building the map, don't forget to play test it. Make sure that you play it with your friends, and if there's something that doesn't work, change it. Don't be stubborn. If something's like not working and the gameplay's not fun, make sure you edit it again and keep making other versions. And that's what I'm doing now in this map. I've actually changed this map since this gameplay that you're seeing now. And if you want to play this map, if you want to download it yourself, it will be in my file share. There'll be a link to that in the description. I have actually changed it, as I say, since this video, so you will be getting a slightly different version. But that's the end of this gameplay now. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you later.